Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become that confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am so happy to finally have on my show Shirley Baez. And let me tell you about Shirley. She is an inspirational force, mentoring and coaching hundreds to find their true greatness. She is the founder and CEO of the LeadHERship Academy. This company empowers women to step into their power and captain their professional and personal lives as true bosses. She is a speaker and published author of the book, Lead Your Ship, Unlock Your True Self and Captain Your Ship Like a Boss. Shirley is a 20-year Army Special Operations retired veteran and the recipient of the multiple military achievement and recognition awards. Shirley brings valuable lessons and skills to her coaching. Her book, Lead Your Ship, guides individuals to unlock their true selves and become effective leaders. Born in Dominican Republic and raised in New York City, Shirley blends the diverse background with a deep understanding of the challenges faced by women. She is dedicated to inspiring others and helping them reach their full potential. Shirley Baez is a catalyst for change, guiding women to embrace their greatness and lead with confidence. Please join me in this wonderful podcast that's going to be themed growth mindset. Welcome, Shirley Baez. What a great background. Congratulations. Thank you for your service and yay for all the accolades that you received. You must have been impressive as a military personnel.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vicki, for having me today. I know it's a long time coming, but I'm so grateful that we were finally able to connect. It's been a journey. It's been an adventure throughout my military career, but I'm just happy that now I get to live like the second chapter of my life. So I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. We always start with a very easy question of where do you live? Do you still live in New York?
No. When I came into the military, I went for North Carolina. That's where I was stationed at for most of my career. And after my retirement, I decided to go to old Sunshine State of Florida. So
I was going to say, so you're either way, you're closer to me. Now Florida actually is a little bit closer than North Carolina. Just
nice.
One state away. Yeah.
Good.
Depending on where you are in Florida, you're anywhere from 4 hours to 12 hours, 8 hours away, I guess. That's the furthest I think it takes me to go all the way to Miami, but very
wonderful.
Cool. So what is the importance of empowerment?
Oh, wow. For me, the importance of empowerment is, being able to get out of your comfort zone, being able to trust yourself, to take the leap of faith in somewhat challenging situations or situations where other people would feel challenged or not wanting to take that. Empowerment opens up your mind to be open-minded on a lot of goals that you want to take. It helps with your communication because you feel confident in yourself and your skin. It helps with the decision-making process. For me, I know it has helped me a lot. Being empowered to do so, being empowered to be the leader, that I grew up to be. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
So whenever you talk about all those things, I think there's two sides of that I'd like to further delve into. And the first is, as an individual and as a woman, either as an entrepreneur, small business owner, or just an employee trying to make their way in a company, um, what are the sort of tips or tactics that you should use to really play that empowerment card, if you will? I think a lot of times, we sit back and we don't take the initiative to empower ourselves, to put ourselves in that place. So what would be some advice that you might give to that audience for really owning the right
Yeah.
to be empowered?
Absolutely. And I think sometimes, we don't feel empowered because either our leaders are not empowering us, or maybe our leaders are not guiding us well and giving us the proper information for us to take and roll with it. But also it has to do with experience, right? The more times you do something, no matter how small it is, you're going to build that confidence
Yeah, for
naturally,
sure.
right? But also being in an environment where either the people, the places, or things are nourishing that
Mm-hmm.
aspect of you. When I was younger, I didn't feel empowered. Why? Because I was in an environment that did not provide that to me, right?
Yeah.
And it has to do a lot with how you grow up, your
Yeah.
upbringing, but also being conscious of taking yourself out of that negative, or lack thereof environment, and putting yourself in a more dynamic and nourishing environment that's going to grow that. I say, for people, what I would tell them is to be humble, always be a learner of life, always be a learner of everything, of what you're doing, and then definitely taking that, what you've learned, and giving yourself that opportunity to lead yourself and to even lead others to do
Mm-hmm.
something. I think I don't necessarily see things or see failures as something bad. It's just
Right.
lessons in life, right? Because
Yeah.
now you know better for the next time.
So you partly touched on the next part of the question, and that is, when we're talking out there to the owners, the managers, the supervisors of people, uh, why is it so important that they do delegate and empower their folks, even if they don't know how to do the thing yet? From looking at from a mentorship type of thing.
No, I love that question, because that happened to me as I was growing in the leadership role. A lot of times we want to hold on to our baby, or we want to hold on to something that we already know how to do or whatnot. But what we're doing also, it's depleting ourselves and getting to that burnout phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it's a big project. And so the great thing about the people that you lead that might not necessarily know, you have to foster the environment of being excited about the vision and the goal. It's very important to get their buy-in as well when you're providing them guidance in the mission and the vision. But definitely also giving them those challenges, because that's the only way that they're going to break through. Definitely give them the guidance, and even minimal, because then you don't want to micromanage either. But you provide the guidance and the goal, and I'm telling you, once you leave them to do what they got to do, they'll go and they'll make it their own.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, people that you lead, you have to be also open for them to come and ask you questions, to
Yes.
kind of just make sure that things are going well, because at the end of the day, you still have to follow up, right? A
Mm-hmm.
leader has to follow up and make sure that things are getting done. But definitely not restricting them from their potential and from their creativity. So I think when you empower other people, it opens up the floodgates of creativeness, of innovation. You get the buy-in, you foster trust. There's so much goodness to that. So,
and really, what you were just saying is really impactful, and something, the underlining piece of that is the communication piece of it, you know, which is my expertise, is when you are delegating, empowering people, the tone that you use when they do follow up, and this is where empathy and understanding and being that person that makes it safe to say, I don't know what I'm doing, or I screwed that up. How you react to that will be telling as to whether or not they continue to be successful or frustrated.
absolutely, Vicki. And you know what? The best leaders that I've had a lot of patience with me, because I was one that I would ask anything and everything, but they had the emotional intelligence to take a step back and know that at the end of the day, I had to get the job done.
Yeah.
And they were really open with the things that needed to get done, very succinct, very concise, and then just very empathetic. So,
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I always, for the people that worked with me, I worked with them to understand what the expectations of their job is, and really how to do their job, so that if they came with questions, I would be able to at least help them to discover, you know, obvious, it's best if they find the solutions themselves, but sometimes you have to be there and maybe nudge them along a little bit
oh,
to help them.
absolutely. And that's natural,
Yes,
for
yes.
sure.
So, how can women step into power and take charge of their personal and professional lives?
Oh my goodness, that's a loaded question, but
Yeah,
you know,
because and also I guess it's like two different worlds too, in the remote world versus the in-person world.
oh my goodness, yes, but and I will speak from my experience. There's an inner world that we need to be mindful of and work on, you know,
Yeah.
because a lot of us as women, we sometimes, because especially in a heavily male environment,
Yeah.
for me, the military, it was obviously heavy male environment, and I always felt like I was on the sidelines, or
Yeah.
I would put myself on the sidelines because I would psych myself out and say, oh no, he'll do it better than me, or even another lady, or she'll do it better than me. But what I lacked was self-confidence,
Yeah.
self-confidence in myself and my abilities that I already
Mm.
had. And sometimes I was even perplexed that other leaders would see my potential before I did.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us women, we fall into that trap of imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
right? Or being in an environment that there's some type A personalities and all of a sudden we want to clam up, you know?
Yes,
But you don't have to be a type A, you don't have to be a
that's right.
type A. If you know your job, you're technically proficient, there's nothing to worry about. There's Everybody has their ways of communicating. Some are boisterous and some can be humble, but prove their point, right? Or set their point
Right.
forward. Uh, but it starts from within. It
Mhm.
starts with working within ourselves, understanding ourselves. A lot of times we
Yeah.
don't even know ourselves,
Yeah.
you know, and understanding what's our weaknesses and what's our strengths. And
Mhm.
and as leaders, how do we accentuate our strengths while mitigating our weaknesses,
Yeah.
right? And that can be through, empowering others to do things that you don't necessarily, that's not your forte,
Mhm.
right? Or learning. There's just different ways. um, Definitely for me it was a journey, and it was me telling myself, you can do it,
Yeah.
you can do it, you know what to do. Why is there a stall,
Mhm.
and I say that sometimes I could have gotten further
Yeah.
if I would only get out of my own way.
That's right.
because we put so much pressure on ourselves to have to be so perfect. And
Yeah.
no, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
I allowed myself to make mistakes. I allowed myself to get fired. I allowed myself to fail. But you know what? The most important thing is getting back up, learn from them, and man, just keep going at it. And I think that became my trademark for a lot of the feedback that I got from my leaders is, man, Shirley, I mean, your capacity to bounce back, be a team player, and always wanting to learn, that is your superpower, you know?
Yeah.
And so I didn't believe it in myself at first, but then I was like, man, there's got to be something to this. And I embraced it. And I tell you that my whole world changed after that.
Yes.
So for a lot of women out there, uh, get out of your own self, do some self-reflection, do journaling. Journaling helped me so much
Mm-hmm.
because you'll be in awe when you go back and read some of those things and you're like, oh my Lord, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, is that how I approached this, or is that how I was thinking at the time? It
Mm-hmm.
really helps give you perspective.
Yeah, for sure. So please, let's just continue on that thought and share the importance of self-reflection, self-improvement, so that you can unlock your true potential. And you just really
Absolutely.
started with the journaling. That's a great way to do that.
Yes, I started with the journaling. I didn't know how powerful that was
Mm.
going to be. I mean, I can show you my shelf is just full of books. I'm enamored by buying notebooks because I love putting any idea that comes into my mind, any feeling into a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
The power of journaling is immense because to me, when I put something on paper, whether are my feelings or my goals, the universe just opens up for me and things just start popping up, automatically. Obviously, we have to do the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're setting your intentions and you're changing your mindset from a negative mindset to a positive mindset and to a mindset of, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to challenge myself. But definitely journaling, meditation helped me so much. When I was in North Carolina, I belonged to a group of individuals who would get together and just, aroma scents and
Uh,
aromatherapy and just breathing techniques and just
yeah.
being silent with yourself. It's
Mm-hmm.
so powerful,
It
especially
is.
nowadays with social media and information dump 100 miles per hour is so easy to get lost. Um, but yeah, journaling, meditation, for me, it helps me to be around the water and
Mm.
listening
Yeah.
to the water and even being in nature, of course, because nature has a sense of, because we all belong to nature, we all go back into the earth, right? So we're connected. And so, even if I take off my shoes and I lay my feet on the grass and just walk a little bit with intentionality, that works so much. I always believe that we're here to serve. We're here for something. There's a reason, and you should figure that out. We're
Find
not
your
just
purpose.
here. Yeah, you're not just here to be here, right?
Yeah.
You have to be able to be mindful of why are you here? Why are some of the things appearing in your life and why life is happening um, for you, not to you, right?
Mm.
Um, Definitely evolving. It's a never-ending evolution. We're here to grow.
Yeah.
Definitely, 10 years on my 30s or 20s, I'm not the same person as I am
Yeah.
now. So, yeah,
So true. It's funny you talked about water, and for me, I'm the same way. I live near a river. Um, I
I love
anytime
that.
I worked for an accounting firm for 10 years, and so just before tax season, I would spend in October, I would just spend a week or so in Florida to just experience nobody, and went by myself, and I just wanted to just listen to the ocean and have that silence in my mind that you were talking about. And it prepared me for the things that were going to be the craziness that was coming. And I think a lot of times we forget about that. We go on vacation, but we try to do so many things that we need a vacation from our vacation. And
That's right.
we forget that, it's sometimes you just need to get away and just do nothing, as you said. And, for me, the sounds of the ocean is so calming to me.
Oh yeah, there's a great book that one of the leaders that I used to serve told me to get, and it was in the still, right? Or it's something like that, in the still and the silence. And he told me just being silent is so powerful, Shirley. Just practice that, and you'll see that like a lot of the things that you're thinking about will make sense, or it would come into perspective. So
yeah. All right, it's time now for our rapid fire question. And so, who has been your greatest mentor?
yeah, that's such a hard question, Vicki. I've had so many. I would say this. My greatest mentor were the soldiers that I led before I retired, because when you're a leader and you have people following you, how you feel inside would reflect, right? Because of them, they were the ones that molded me to be a great leader, to do the work inside, to lead them well, to care for them. Not that I didn't, but I was a very closed in person. And, they needed me. And so I learned so much from them, about the good, the bad, everything. And it just turned out so well after that. So.
It's so funny. My first job as a supervisor, I had 9 people for my first supervisor job, which probably for your team is probably small, but we had a task that was put upon them, and I knew that it was going to be challenging for them. And so all of the things that I did to help them not feel that challenge were influencing how I became a leader as time went on, and how my whole feeling of leading with your heart, your head, and your hands all came out, because I considered them as people and not as just task masters or whatnot.
Absolutely. That is so important. Even the smallest things, as to passing by their office and saying hello. How is your son? How is your daughter? It's small things like that. People want to be heard and cared about. Definitely. So that's a great point, Vicki.
And I think it's even more so, it's people need. And sometimes they don't really recognize it, but people need that. They need that community. They need to know that people care about them, that what they do for your organization, for themselves, for your family is important.
Absolutely. And like you said, people need it and they don't recognize it until you don't show up.
Yeah.
When you don't show up, they definitely recognize that. And even if they don't really care for you to pass by, they will care that you never did.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
I don't know if you remember, but in a lot of companies, and they probably still do this, where they have employee surveys once a year, and always they ask questions about trust and integrity and your manager, do they care, and things like that. And so I always found it interesting whenever some of the managers got low scores, then all of a sudden they started to come around the office, all the cubicles. And so the goal has to be that it's with integrity, and people can see through that. They knew, okay, well, he's just doing this to raise the score, which totally defeats it, you know?
And we go back to authentic leadership.
Yeah.
Just be an authentic leader. Don't
Yeah.
do it just to do it, because people, it's all about relationships, and relationships build trust as a leader. To me, it's three things: communication, relationship that builds trust.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, it's time now for us to share my screen. So I'm going to share my screen with the information that you can get in contact with Shirley. But if you are just listening, I will read the information for the website. And as always, you should be going right now to grab a pencil and a paper. All right, so you can go to www.shirleybaez, that's SHIRLEYBAEZ.com, shirleybaez.com. On Facebook, she is at shirley.baez.908. LinkedIn is Shirley Baez with a hyphen between, Shirley-Baez. And then Instagram, she's at I am Shirley Baez. So I am Shirley Baez. Shirley, go ahead and take it over and talk about your ebook and your book, LeadHERship.
Yes, definitely. If you go to my website, you'll get the free gift for my ebook on self-leadership. There, I propose all of the principles that you should keep in mind and you should follow to be not only a great leader for yourself and your life, but for others that you lead. I also am a published author of my first book, LeadHERship, and that is definitely going through the self-leadership process and utilizing leadership principles to do so. I also co-authored two other books that went #1 on the Amazon bestseller, which is The Powerful Female Immigrant, 24 Stories, and then The Real Women in Real Estate, which we launched a month ago. So
Awesome.
you can find all of those on my website.
So, and can they find it on Amazon too, as well?
They can find it on Amazon as well, yes.
All right. So just search Shirley Baez on Amazon and you can find all those books. They all sound awesome. I think I'm going to pick up a few of those myself. So thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest. You shared so many great tips and insights. It was been a pleasure getting to know you and learning more about what you do. I look forward to reading your books, and hopefully we can do this again sometime. So as always, I remind everyone that life is a journey and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.